Welcome back to BYU Sports Station. We are live in Studio B with your day-to-day BYU Sports play-by-play. I am Spencer Linton. To my left sits Jerem Jordan. We have moved over to the Cougar Council Room to have our conversation.
Discuss the needs of the ward.
with former NFL and BYU linebacker David Nixon. D-Nix, welcome to the show, man.
It feels good to be here. It feels good to be here. It feels like this might be tithing settlement.
And a few move-ins. Are they taken care of?
We were just talking about the greatest receivers to ever play the game at BYU.
Yeah.
You had the privilege to play alongside closely with one of them, in Austin Collie. He's the clear number
greatest.
one.
Yeah.
The clear
He's
number
the best
one to us.
ever.
What was it like to be Austin Collie's teammate when you're a defender and you know your offense needs to go out and score a touchdown, and he and Max Hall and Dennis Pitta take the field?
I'm telling you, I can't tell you how many times there were third downs, 3rd and 5, 6, where typically the coach are yelling, punt alert, like get ready, we're about to have to maybe punt it. And us defense, we just sit there like, no, we're good, thank you. We know they're gonna get a first down. We'll just keep relaxing. I don't need to exert any energy to get up.
Here's the stiff arm. Boom.
I mean, honestly, we had so much confidence in them. And keep in mind, I was coming off John Beck with Johnny Harleen and Austin and the rest of the crew, right, prior. And so for me, it was a lot of confidence and just knowing that those guys just seamlessly carried on what John had kind of started. And Max comes in, picks up right where he left off, and then Austin just balled out into this thing. And it was awesome. It was fun to watch. I mean, they made some big explosive plays, right? And those guys, you could depend on them to come up with those plays and kind of carry the offense. There were a couple of games where we had some shootouts, and we need the offense to produce. And then, of course, there's some games where as defense we stepped up, and so it was a nice kind of give and take throughout the season. But yeah, Austin was special, and it was fun to see his competitive side as well. We always talk about the competitive side of Max, but Austin's just as competitive.
Yes.
And it was fun to kind of watch them do their thing, along with Dennis Pitta, throw him in the mix. Harvey Younga, running back. And we had
like those guys are
offense.
top 5 at their position probably in BYU history. Max is a fun combo because that's loaded room. But Harvey and Dennis for sure are top 5.
And I think that's what was so tough to defend BYU. Okay, so you want to go double team Austin? Great. You got Dennis running up the seam, or you got Harvey coming out of the backfield on an option route. Good luck, right? I mean, you had a one-on-one somewhere, and one of those 3 guys was going to beat you. And sure enough, we did. I mean, nobody could stop him. And then I just spread him out. It was pretty fun to watch. And those guys, they're still studs. You got all of them in the coaching, helping out some way or another because they're carrying on with what they knew. And yeah, absolute studs.
We were talking about Puka Nacua being a top 4 guy in just his playmaking ability, because the Mount Rushmore is based largely on career numbers, but Puka Nacua's just downright playmaking ability puts him on that Mount Rushmore.
That's
right?
and that's what we were talking about. Like, yeah, he doesn't have the sustained sort of career of just the 2 years, probably, right, and injuries and whatnot. But like, if you need a play,
like game changer.
Yeah.
Glenn Kozlowski, Mitch Matthews, Austin Cody, obviously, like, he's up there.
Oh, I mean, I would put Austin and him 1A and 1B. I mean, as far as playmaking. Yeah, stats, he's obviously not going to have stats.
Yeah.
It's 2 years, right?
Yeah.
But when you talk about needing to play and going up and getting the ball and just dominating, I don't know how you couldn't put it up there in at least the top 2. I mean, I love Cody, I love Mitch, but Puka's ability and the catches he's made this year with the toe tapping, and then one thing we didn't see from all those other receivers was the run game.
Mm-hmm.
The way that Puka gets involved in the fly sweep game and the quick bubble screens and the way he's able to turn those into positive gains. And the thing I love about Puka that he doesn't get a lot of credit for is his first contact. When's the last time we saw him come down on first contact?
So physical.
Never.
Every single time he has a spin move where he actually spins back inside, which is pretty dangerous, but shows you how much he cares about the game. But the ability for him to spin back inside and pick up an extra 5 yards almost every single time is pretty impressive. And then I think the last part is just the emotional side of it. All those guys we mentioned, Cody maybe kind of quiet, a little more quiet. But when Puka gets up, I mean, you can tell he commands that offense.
He's going to slap you in the head, literally.
He is going gangbusters. I think back to the Utah game whenever he scored or Samson scored. He runs off the sideline, and they're jumping up and down. I mean, that is Puka Nacua to a T, the way that he just loves the game. And I'm telling you, stuff like that's infectious. Like that riles up the team, and guys catch on to that, and they want to be at that level. And I'm telling you, it pumps the whole team up. And it's a bummer this year we didn't get to see him healthy the whole entire year. I think that's That's the biggest bummer is that, he was injured the first game. On
Or last year. He had a hamstring for the first
this
month.
year the meaningless kind of fly sweep. We're already killing USF and gets, tangled up and then the hamstring. And so it's just, it's unfortunate. But when he did play, he was unstoppable. Honestly, he was unstoppable.
Special player. Took the first play from scrimmage this season.
Set the tone.
To the house for a touchdown.
That was amazing.
What's the case for Puka Nacua to play one more year at BYU?
It's a tough case because, we talked about in the postgame show. I mean, a lot of these guys, if you're going to get drafted high, you got to go. You got to get your money. But if you're
Is he going to be drafted high?
And that's the big question. I think that'll be the feedback he'll get. I mean, the Boise State game definitely helps his draft stock.
Sure.
What he does against Stanford and in a bowl game, if he plays in the bowl game, will obviously help his.
He's got a great film against Baylor from last year.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's got the film on there, and I think for him, the compelling pitch is come back and hopefully play a whole season healthy, right? And play against great competition, where now there's no reason that the scouts and GMs and stuff can't sit back and say, oh, well, that was against East Carolina, who's still good. But
this schedule
kind of pick apart the schedule.
Was it not? This schedule was good enough.
Yeah, the problem was he wasn't healthy the whole season for that schedule, right? And so next year, that schedule will be obviously top to bottom strong enough that if he can stay healthy and put up big numbers, it'll be compelling. But the other part of that is Jaron coming back?
Yeah.
I
feel like they have to be a tandem because if Jaron doesn't come back, should Puka come back, not knowing what the quarterback situation is going to be like?
I would agree. I think they've got to be. If they're not texting or calling each other right now on a daily basis, I'd be shocked, honestly. And maybe they're waiting until after this week.
They might use WhatsApp.
Yeah, they might use Telegram or something. But I would say, they might let this week go through and kind of get through the end of the season. I remember that's how it was with me. I kind of didn't want to talk about anything or talk with agents or anything until after the
I remember I
last
kept
game.
pestering you. David, you're going pro? What's going on, man?
Yeah, I was wondering.
And you were like, hey, after the season.
After the season, I'm a senior. I have to go. But I would say for them, wait till the Stanford's game over, and then it's full court press, talking with the coaches, talking with each other. Because I agree, if Puka comes back and Jaron's not here to throw to him, and you're having to deal with some new guy who you don't know at this point.
But what if it's P5 awesome guy?
We'll see. We'll see.
I think we ought to show a little bit of confidence that BYU is going to bring in a baller. We've never really had an issue with QB, right? Like at BYU, we're like, that guy is typically going to be really good.
So that brings up the other conversation for this year. For Jaron to leave, if he can leave and get drafted somewhat higher or just get drafted, then at least BYU can say, listen, we got Zach Wilson and Jaron Hall. Any transfer, come here, right? Your pitch is that much stronger because you just look at the recent kind of track record with Zach Wilson, now Jaron Hall. If he leaves,
you even take it back to Taysom Hill, David.
You got Taysom.
Do you know about Taysom? I'm extremely confident BYU is going to have a very good quarterback next year. I just am. I'm not worried. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're hearing rumblings. People are reaching out, and there's stuff moving. If this coach goes to this school, does that player be a bit like who knows? There are opportunities. This is QBU more than any other position. Yeah, I'm not that worried. And I just think Puka's gone. Period. I just think he's done what he can do. Yes, he could come back and try and play through that. But
I mean, he's been in school for a long time. You want to be done? I don't want to do homework anymore.
Not everyone loves school, by the way.
Football.
Yeah, I didn't love school. I enjoyed going to BYU and going to classes, but I didn't enjoy the homework. I came to learn how to broadcast, and once I graduated, I just broadcast. No one's asked for my GPA. No one's questioned my what degree I've had in anything. You know what I mean? There's certain fields where it's just whatever.
All right, we need to ask you about Stanford. It's guaranteed that we will see Jaron Hall and Puka Nacua and the BYU offense play against Stanford. What do you expect from BYU against a Cardinal team that beat Notre Dame this year, by the way, in South Bend, but has been just on this descent down into the basement of college football? So what do you expect?
Listen, if there's anything I can expect from BYU playing another opponent, is that other opponent is somehow going to rise to the occasion, fall out against BYU. It just somehow happens every single time. Listen, I think this is a BYU team that obviously has some defensive issues. They made some adjustments. I feel like they really have gotten better every week with those adjustments that have been made. But keep in mind with the defense as well, this is a defense that's been struggling with injuries. And you've had guys that have been coming and going. And now with Peyton Wilgart pretty much being out, a lot of these guys have realized this is my starting role. And
Max not listed in the 2 deep this week either.
Max has been banged up. He hasn't played for quite some time. And so I think a lot of these guys have gotten those game reps and know that this is my spot. They're not wondering, hey, if Max's game time decision, is he going to come back or not? Am I going to start or not? It's pretty much definitive at this point, right? And so I think that helps some of these younger guys, and some of these guys have tried to fill those spots. Get ready. Offensively, we're seeing them there. I think Jaren's shoulder every week gets healthier and healthier. I think this last week at Utah Tech, he made some throws that he hasn't made in quite some time.
Some great throws.
And so I think that's helping. So I think everything's trending in the right direction. But that being said, they're still a P5 school. It's at their house. It's their last game of the year. That's an emotional game.
This is a neutral site game, let's be honest. Thanksgiving weekend at Stanford.
Okay, well, we usually see what the crowd is.
Senior night for Stanford.
Yeah, I mean, there's some emotional things in play for Stanford, and for BYU. Can they put it together? It's actually an intriguing game. Yes, BYU on paper should go there and blow them out. But when you add all the emotion, I mean, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, BYU by a touchdown is what I think would be fair.
8-point favorite, I think I saw. Yeah. 8-point favorite one that.
Listen, for BYU this year, that's a blowout. I'll take 8-point favorites.
Are we going to be that picky? They won't either. They won 2 FBS games by 3 points.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, and you look Stanford offensively. They're only putting up 360 yards of games.
No, that's bad.
They're one of the worst in the country in running the ball. They're averaging like 116 yards on the ground. So.
Toby Gearhart isn't walking through that door.
No,
or Chris McCaffrey, for that matter.
Yeah,
I wanted to go deeper, but yeah, light running back.
It will be interesting to see how BYU comes out. It's an interesting game. I think for BYU, this is a monumental game in the fact that build on something for this season. Obviously, this season's been a little bit of a letdown, but
get to 8.
You get to 8, you salvage something, and you get some momentum going into next year. That's the biggest thing. You've got to win this one. You've got to win the bowl game and have some type of momentum to build upon as you head into a pretty important key off season with so many moving parts with guys transferring in or out. Yes. You've got to get ready for the new conference. I mean, there's a lot. This next offseason is going to be super busy. I mean, we'll see with the coaching, what happens there.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of changes, I think, around here. And I think having at least some stability of, hey, we went out, we struggled, we did well early, we had a lull, and we finished strong. I think that will be huge for this program.
Great stuff with David Nixon. If BYU beats Stanford, they guarantee a winning season. How about that?
Do it.
Guarantee it regardless of what happens in the bowl game.